everyone. It's Jewel and Auret here, and welcome
Hello.
to Essetino Mastermind, episode number 157.
Yes, welcome everybody to another weekly Mastermind live stream. My name is Auret for those of you who are new here, and this is Jewel next to me over here. We're founders of Essetino Media, where we help you create profitable content. So we talk about different topics in these live streams, and we host them every 2 weeks. And in this month of September, we've been talking a lot about branding, personal branding, becoming an expert in your field, what branding actually means, what you need to have what you personally need to have in order to have a strong brand. So we're gonna skip over to another topic, which I know a lot of you are interested about, which is actually monetizing your personal brand today. So let's first start off the live stream before we jump in, as we usually do, with sharing your wins for the week. So we always love to start off by asking you, how was your week? What went well? Share something with us that you're proud of getting done, that was a win for you. And it could be about business, it could be in your personal life, anything of that sort. It's just really cool to start off these live streams on a positive note and have everybody to see everyone's achievements and see everyone's wins for the week. It also just encourages all of us to keep going in whatever it is that we're pursuing. So I hope comments here while we're doing that.
Yeah, share the wins. And Auret, you got a cool one, and I got not say it's a cool one, but it's one I got through.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of similar. While you guys are sharing your wins in the comments, we'll share ours too. I actually just got back from an Alaskan cruise. It was an 11-day cruise. I went with my parents. So it's just such an amazing experience to be able to go with your parents at this age, and also just like to enjoy, to just go whenever you want and take that time off. So I just got back. Everything is still intact in the business, which is a huge win, and things, are still here. Nothing fell apart and nothing went crazy urgent. And the trip itself was absolutely amazing. Got to see glaciers, the Alaskan landscape. Like, Alaska is just full of beautiful nature. I saw whales for the first time, which is really cool. I saw a submarine, oddly enough, which I'd never anticipated I'd see on the water, on the ocean waters. And yeah, being on the boat itself was a whole other experience and destination in itself. So that was a really cool win for me.
And to add to that, so my win is attached to that because, Auret was gone for 11 days and she didn't bring her laptop, which was great because, she was totally unplugging, hanging out with her parents. And because it was a cruise, the internet's like spotty. You don't really get that strong of internet. And usually internet's pretty pricey on the boats as well. But so she just completely unplugged. And I was not able to really even contact her for several days. And I manned the Essetino ship. So I was doing everything, orchestrating with everybody and, answering the emails, making sure it was all good. Luckily, I do believe in energy and frequencies, and it was a lot quieter on the email front side. It was usually we get like inquiries and emails like on the daily basis of leads, need to get on calls, need to do meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But while Auret was gone, it was, I would say, quiet. And it tends to happen whenever we go to trips or conferences or something like that. It's like, it knows. Like,
the universe knows somehow. Yeah.
The universe knows. And then as soon as Auret gets back, it's like boom, 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 boom. And it's like being crazy ever since you got back. So it's pretty cool. So that's like a win for me. I did everything for Essetino, basically. For the 11.
You ran it all. Yeah, you did an amazing job, Jewel. Thanks for holding the fort down while I was away. I really appreciate that. things can still keep going, even though, if one of us needs to step away, it's all good. Let's head over to the comments and say hello and also see some of your wins before we jump into the topic for today's live stream. So we have Roland. Hello, Roland. How's it going? We have as well Derek in the house. Here we go. Tracy, hello, hello.
House.
We have Cheeks from Product Patrol. How's it going? Cheeks, jealous that you went to go see Duran Duran in concert, I think last week sometime. That was very cool. I can't wait to see some of those videos that you sent from the concert. We have Felix. Hey, Felix. How's it going?
Felix.
And Brayden. Hello.
Hey, Brayden.
And some of you guys are also sharing your wins. So we have one from Roland. I created a video for this channel yesterday for the Getting It Done North of 7 channel. For the first time in just over 1 month, YouTube gave me the title name via the weekly recap. Thank you, YouTube. Oh, interesting.
So those weekly recaps, I actually really enjoy them. So I believe they're only being shown in the on mobile app. If you notice at the end of the week, if you go to your mobile app, there's this thing that says like, check out your weekly recap, and it recaps your channel. So it recaps what was your top videos, what was your top searches, what was your earnings if you're monetized. And that even does one trivia question. It was like, it'll ask you what was the video that did well or something. What was the most searched video on the YouTube search or something? I don't know. The questions changed. Maybe it's different for everybody. But I actually look forward to those weekly recaps. It's very the UX design, is really nice. It looks modern, sleek. It's like a very nice way to have your stats presented to you, because usually people get lost in the analytics.
And that's something you can share online as well. Like take a screenshot of that, post it online, right?
Oh,
share. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, again, celebrating your stats and your wins and how well you did this past week with your audience. Every single one of us can do that. Whoever has a channel here who's watching the live stream. So thanks for sharing that win, Roland. And we have Tracy, as of tonight, only 8 subscribers away from reaching 4,500. That's amazing.
You're
So
almost
cool.
at the 5K. Think about that. I say to people, just zoom out for a second, because everybody's always like so in it, right? And just zoom out for a second and think about, like, you're almost at 5,000. 5,000 people. It's crazy to even see 100 people in a room. Think about 5,000 people subscribed to you. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty big room. Conference stadium thing. Felix says his win is that he got 3,000 views on a video on YouTube after a few months by changing the content slightly. Oh, interesting. Changing the topic of the content or the style in which it's presented, Felix. That's cool. Yep. Sounds like you're doing some experimentation there with different formats, different types of content. Awesome. All right. Yes, definitely. Jewel receives the weekly MVP award.
I will say that internet is life, right? For an entrepreneur. So when Auret was like, I don't know if I'm going to get internet for some of the days. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even contact you if something goes wrong. But it worked out fine.
Yeah, all ended up to be good. And Product Patrol Cheeks shared that Pawn Stars, Chum Lee's, reposted your video, like one of the videos that you did, Awesome Jerky. That's pretty cool. Big deal. Yeah, I didn't used to like religiously watch it, but when there wasn't really anything else on, I would watch a couple episodes here and there. It's interesting just seeing the different deals that they would do in the pawn shop there. That's really cool.
I found that they didn't really buy this stuff.
Yeah, they would post up these deals and then, yeah. Sorry, you cut out. What did you say, Jewel? that last
I
part?
said, so like the whole thing is like you bring your artifact or whatever it is, vintage thing to Pawn Stars, and
Yeah,
then the whole that they're gonna offer you, if it's of value, they're gonna offer you something like money to buy
yeah.
it so that they can go and resell it. I found that every time I watched it, they would just lowball the people all the time, like knowing that like they, because they're always like, what do you want for it? And then they would say their number and then they'd be like, no, we can't give you that. And they rarely ever went like over if it was just like something amazing. And then I just always felt like the customer bringing in the stuff got gypped.
I didn't watch enough episodes to see that pattern occurring.
Yeah.
Uh, that's interesting. Roland says YouTube informed me of the popular search term that bought a lot of views to a certain video. Ah, okay. So you filmed the video, yeah, a follow-up video with more fixes for that issue. Very cool. Yeah, there you go. Using stats very strategically, wisely. And yeah, don't forget to share those stats that you have in the weekly recap that show up online as a social media post. Okay, so thanks for those wins, guys. That's so cool to hear everyone's wins. We're going to jump into our topic for today, which is monetizing your brand. So, how do you actually turn all of that stuff that we talked about in the last few weeks, like the power of your brand, the visibility, all that stuff that comes along with posting on social media, content marketing, being seen, your YouTube channels, everything like that. How do you turn that visibility and that brand power into actual revenue, into actual money in the bank, right? Um, I mean, and this works. I mean, how many times, Jewel, have you bought something from someone, a product or a service, because of the power of their personal brand? Like you've seen them pop up a few times, or you trust them, you trust that brand. I'm sure that's happened
Yeah.
many times.
No, I just bought a bunch of stuff the other day, like health stuff, and
Yeah.
I look at their brand. I look at how structured they look. I do look at reviews, obviously, but I look at everything as a whole. I look at, do they have a presence online? I will go to their Instagram. Like if they have a social media, I will
Mhm.
usually click on, usually businesses who have the YouTube icon down at the bottom don't usually have anything going on. They'll have like maybe one video or something. So I kind of discount that because YouTube's typically hard for people and businesses. So, but I will look at and scrutinize their Instagram and Facebook fan page, and I'll see when was the last time they posted. Are
Yeah.
they getting any engagement? The engagement's not even that crazy. I just want to see, like, are you guys legit? Are you active? Are you posting? And yeah, I booked something, and I looked at their Instagram, and their Instagram was one of the reasons why I booked it. And then I bought some other things, and I made sure to see that they are active and they actually have a whole brand. So it did play a huge role.
Yeah. I mean, and it could work both ways. It could work like what you were saying in the short term, where you want to buy something and you're researching something online. You want to see the impression that you get, how trustworthy they are just from their online presence. And I do the same thing all the time, especially when, booking activities when I'm traveling, like going to a city or a destination, and I know I want to book, let's say, like a helicopter tour. I'll go and do the research on the different companies that do that there, and see the impression I get. But that's in the short term. That's like first impressions. And then there are brands that you've heard from over and over again. You've seen their stuff. Maybe you follow them. You're on their email list. You listen to their podcasts. You watch their YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff. And they've just provided so much value, and you connect with their beliefs and what they put out, that when they do have a product or service, you end up buying it. So
Yeah.
there's just that. It really is that power of a personal brand. And I want to talk about, or get into a discussion about, what are the various monetization strategies that whoever's watching this can kind of start to think about incorporating in their own business. Also, how to choose the right monetization strategy and what you actually need in order to what you need to set up in order to receive those payments to actually monetize and get that money from people. So
And
let's start off. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to do a side note and say that with the whole Instagram thing, like there's a reason why we hired someone specifically to run our Instagram. And I don't know if you guys are following us on Instagram, but there's like constant stuff going out, like stories, different clips, different posts, both images and video, and different kinds of things. And we're just keeping that active because you honestly never know who's going to land on that. And first of all, you never know what piece of content is going to resonate with anyone. They could be watching you for years, but you say one thing that one time, they're like, okay, I want to hire you guys, or I want to work with you guys, or I need to talk to you. That's often what happens. And so that's we're like hiring people to take care of these certain aspects. And Instagram was definitely something that we wanted to grow and get into because we have our YouTube, right? Which is fine, we have video. But I feel like YouTube and in Instagram specifically are the two that kind of like everybody watches and is on. Yes, everybody's like, TikTok and Twitter, but I find that those two are the ones because Facebook tends to be like an older crowd. A lot of people don't want to go on Facebook anymore. But we do have, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram is kind of hitting the majority of people.
Yeah, for us personally, like that monetization comes through number one from YouTube, the YouTube platform. Number two, Instagram. If we're like kind of ranking the social platforms, but I know some people who are killing it, like just promoting on LinkedIn, for example, or posting on LinkedIn. It really depends on who you're targeting and who you're catering to. And we'll talk a little bit about that when it gets to, how to choose the right monetization strategy. Just want to say, hey, Jojo. Jojo's in the house.
Hey,
I love
Jojo.
how purple match our purple branding here, Jojo. All right, so let's get into exploring various monetization strategies. So, there's so many different things, but let's just kind of see the overarching categories here. You have services, right? Within that, there are branches of doing coaching or consulting, or maybe you're actually doing a done for you service. Like in my case, I design graphics for people, or websites, or develop these automations that allow people to enter in something in a form and it sends out an email and this kind of thing. So there's services. There are products, like actual product sales, and this could be physical or digital. So it could be merchandise or things like ebooks, PDF guides, online courses is a digital product, right? And then you have the other side of things, which is like affiliate marketing. You have sponsored content and partnerships could be one as well. And then there's like the in-person, you going and maybe talking out to people, speaking engagements, workshops, that kind of thing. Webinars can be part of that too if you're doing it online. So there's so many different things under monetization strategies, and each one has their own little mini branches. Anything you want to add to that, Jewel? Various monetization strategies, or anything I've missed there?
I think that pretty much covers it. I was just going to add, like, people on here watching should consider creating some sort of product or service and building a list for sure. And when you said payment processors, which we'll get into, it still is so shocking when you have a business and they don't know how to collect money online. They'll be
It doesn't
like,
make it easy for the customer to buy.
sit at the door, or send me an e-transfer or something to this,
Mhm.
the automated you can make things, the better and the easier. And I was just thinking about, I did an art class like while you were gone, and I was being advertised to it on Facebook and on Instagram. It was a mosaic Turkish lamp, and they made it so easy. They had everything integrated that I didn't have to email nobody, speak to nobody. I just saw all the information, right? They said what it is, they showed pictures, blah, blah, reviews, all this. They had the calendar integrated on there, they had the payment processor integrated on there. And then I could just like book the exact day, the time I wanted. And then it was just like, boom, just show up on the day. They even sent reminders and everything. And it was so automated. And I was so impressed with them, because usually people in the arts aren't as technological with that kind of thing. That's basically, it was a funnel, and it was just, the easier you can make it for someone, the better, right? The more transaction you'll get.
Oh yeah, of course. There's still websites and service brands today just using really, yeah, like friction, like methods that are full of friction, where it's like there's so many steps for the customer to take to actually give you money and have that money be in your bank account. And that shouldn't
Yep.
be the case, because there's so many tools out there that allow that process to happen very seamlessly.
I was just gonna say, that's why Amazon wins. Like, that's why Amazon gets so much business, because it's so
Yeah,
easy to purchase on there. You always
yeah,
want to think about simplifying this process for people. And well, let's back up. Some people might be like, well, I don't have a product or service, right? Like, so
yeah.
what would you say to that?
Yeah, so going back to the different types of monetization strategies that we talked about, right? So, like Jewel said, it's good to have your own, at least one product or service or offering that you're offering from your own personal brand, because it's something that you can call your own. We
Mm-hmm.
always talk about on this channel, like how amazing affiliate marketing is, and like making commissions and sponsorships and all this kind of stuff. But you're kind of you're borrowing their products to sell, right? And making a cut off of that. It's always good to kind of just have something your own that you can sell. And it doesn't have to be all of these things. It could just be one thing, but you do, if you are someone who has a goal to grow your brand, to help more people, to do more coaching, to sell more service, all of this kind of stuff, then you also want to diversify in those monetization strategies, which is also something that we always talk about on this channel, is just making sure that your eggs aren't all in one basket. So if you're just doing affiliate marketing, consider incorporating, like maybe selling an ebook or like a service or something like that. And we'll talk more about, because it all depends on your goals and a lot of other factors as well. So we'll talk more about how to choose the best method for you. But consider adding something else in to the mix.
I know you
Jewelry.
had said I know you had said ebook, and a lot of people will get scared because then they're like, what ebook? That I don't know how to write and blah blah blah. But it doesn't even have to be an ebook. It can be like a PDF, a 3-page PDF. For example, I would constantly get questions about Facebook Marketplace and my template that I'd use. And
Mhm.
one day, let me just monetize this and make this into a quick product. So we made it into like a 3-page PDF, which you designed. And then it's such a simple, it's basically what I already do, pasted in there, plus, made it beautiful, gave value. And it's a
Yeah.
simple $9 product. But when someone purchases it, get their email, I get the small commission, which is awesome because it was a one-time thing that we don't need to create anymore. And it's just, that's an example of a very easy product that you can create. And think about, what are the common questions that you always get from people, and create a PDF on it. It's crazy. If you're in biking and your bike routine, or how to clean your bike, or whatever it is, like, you can seriously monetize anything these days. And that's where I would start if you're very green from the beginning. But if you already have like a full-on YouTube channel, I would really, really consider, and if you have subscribers and if you have fans, to me, you should put the time and effort to creating a product, because it, like, you have these fans and you have people that are already interested. They want to purchase from you. Like, if, like, I want to purchase from people that I like. For example, yes, I watch the YouTube channel Yes Theory. They do kind of like documentary style travels. They have a clothing line. I'm constantly going to their store to see the new designs, to see if I like anything. And if I don't like anything, then I don't purchase. But if I do, I like purchase immediately because I love it so much. I love supporting them. And so you might have in your own audience as well. And it's a good transaction. It's not like, oh, get money from these people, but it's like, you're both winning. You're giving something to them, and then you're receiving a payment in exchange, and you're like both winning.
Yeah. So two things I want to say to what you just said. The first thing is, you're doing something right as a brand when you have people that just want to support you in any way they can, or they'll send you an email saying, I watched some of your videos and I love what you're all about. What can you do? How can you help me? Like, they don't even know what you offer yet, but they just want to buy from you or want to support you in any way they can. So that reminded me of what you said about Yes Theory.
And when you say, this is okay, so when people are out of the realm of, let's say, the online entrepreneurial world, and you go, and if we go, yeah, we have a course, we have several courses, we have this course, it creates credibility just by the fact of you having a course, or having an ebook, or having a physical book, or having a product. It already gives you street cred just by having it. Doesn't matter if you've even sold it or not.
Yeah, it adds to your brand power by having a product that is your own. We all know that a book, right? Having a book is something that people, it's a strategy that a lot of people do, is just to write a book so that, that instantly gives them credibility in their field. If it's a good book, of course, if it's a good, if it gives a ton of value. But even just like, I was gonna say too, like, just having that book and not having someone read it, like, you can call yourself an author nowadays and people will see you at a certain level, right?
Yeah.
Than someone who doesn't have a book. So yeah, I agree. Like, a course is something similar as well to that effect. There was something else that I wanted to say.
We've said this before. You don't necessarily need to have a good product or service. Obviously, we believe that's important. But if you don't even need a good product or service, but if you have crazy good branding, you can sell. It's basically what happens on Amazon with all of those private label products. They're all the same, but the one that has the coolest graphics and the renderings, the rendering graphics of the product, right?
Yeah.
That make it look good, usually does the best in selling. But it's all the same, really. I'm just using a yoga mat as an example because they're all pretty much the same. There's so many products that are all the same on Amazon, but the person that wins is the one that has the best branding.
Going back to what you were saying about, if you're green, the easiest thing would be to just create like a PDF guide or something like that. You could take that a step further, get creative with, depending on what your niche is. If you can make that PDF actionable in some way, like if it's a checklist, if it's a template, if it's a worksheet, something like that. And it could be like, it doesn't necessarily have to be electronically fillable. Like that's not what I mean by interactive. It could just be something that people can take and they can use. They could put it to practice in some way. They can print out a checklist. They could print out a template and actually use it, because that them taking action on the information that you're providing is just another, something that solidifies in their mind that you're helping them achieve. You're helping them take action on something and get from point A to point B, whatever that checklist or template is about.
Mhm.
So, get creative with it. Like Phil does these projects, like these really cool woodworking projects and builds. Like imagine if he took the most popular projects that he created and like wrote out the instructions or the plans or what blueprints or whatever it is, and sold that alongside of whatever that video that he created.
Mhm. I was
Get
just thinking,
creative.
I was just gonna simplify it even more. Let's say he doesn't want to write it as a blueprint or whatever, but he's filming it already, right? And what gets put on YouTube is the final shortened, sped up version, but he probably filmed the whole thing. So you could charge essentially for that whole thing, like
Yeah.
$9, $15. You want to see the whole thing unedited, raw, the actual cutting, whatever, how long it actually takes to dry, whatever it is, right? And
Yes.
and honestly, I feel like people would pay for that. People, I bought, oh yeah, I bought when I was making those Jeeps for my nephew's birthday, the Jurassic Jeeps.
Mm-hmm.
I bought plans on Etsy on how to make a cardboard paper Jeep, because I had no idea how to actually do that. And so I went to Etsy. I did first look on YouTube. Nobody had a cool video of trying to make a cool Jurassic Jeep. Then I went to Etsy, found someone who was selling PDF plans and the PDF outline of everything. I purchased it for like $9, and they had it automated. I was so impressed. They had it automated. I just got it instantly, and they had so many plans of other things that they created, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how many sales is this person making. And I actually went to their profile. I saw how many sales they were doing. I times it by the number, and I was like, damn, they're doing pretty good for probably this being pretty automated. Probably
Yeah.
have customer support emails and stuff. But I mean, it was pretty seamless when I purchased those Jeep paper plans, and it was so cool. It turned out so nice.
And you're talking about like plans, like, but that could also be translated to mean like process or
Yeah, that,
framework. Or so I'm pointing that out because it doesn't matter what you do or what niche you're in. You can just take your process for whatever it is that you do and sell it, whether that's in a course, whether that's in a PDF, whether that's, whatever it is. Yeah, exactly. So you take think about something that you do that's unique to how you do it, and what are the steps. Really think about what are the steps to get there. What would someone need if you were to teach someone how to do this? You can really map that out in any way that you want and sell that. So
I'll give you another example because I'm just thinking of the regulars that watch on here. Let's say, for example, Tracy. There's
mhm,
so many, your gardening process, how you grow this, or one of those it's not a smart garden system, but I know you have a different one. It's like, what do you do to set it up? How do you clean it?
mhm,
What work best in growing it? Your whole guide to this machine in conjunction to it. You know,
yeah.
People are into it.
And the benefit of like someone like Tracy or any of you guys watching, you have YouTube videos on certain topics, meaning you already have a way of seeing what people want to know about most. Look at your stats. What are people viewing the most? Because then you can, that's kind of a little bit like your product research in a sense, like you're validating the market in terms of whether there's demand for this, and start to see those patterns in the content that you put out, and you can decide from there what type of product you want to create on which topic.
Mm-hmm. I
So
will say,
go ahead. I'm going to jump into the comments while you're doing that. Go ahead.
I will say there is a huge influx of people in course creation, and people are flocking to courses right now, which is good for us because they've been contacting us to create courses, big courses from like big establishments and stuff. So that's one of the new trends of an online product is courses. Before it was like so much more rare, right?
Yeah. Chase is asking, have you heard of Upbrand? I have not. You pay a fee to help you promote on Instagram. I haven't heard of it. Have you, Jewel?
No, I haven't. If I have done a promotion on Instagram, it's on a specific post. You know how when you do a post on Instagram, it'll ask you, if you're a business account, it'll ask you promote. And then I've done that a couple of times on some good posts that and here's another thing, if you're going to promote something, I always say attach it to a product, service, or affiliate, something that is on there. Because I mean, if you have the money to blow and whatever, sure, post for the sake of getting followers, but I always think you should be getting that, the follower, plus something else out of it. So the posts that I've promoted were selling a course where I was doing like a whole long post or something, and at the end of it, it's talking about buying the course, right? I want to give value, the photo either or video, something needs to be of value in there in exchange for someone wanting to purchase. But those are the posts that I promote, even on the YouTube promotions tab. I did a whole video on this. It's on our channel. I talk about running the promotions on specific videos that's going to get you something back. You know, if you're cool to just spend money and just have it get views, fine. But I personally think that you should do it to, if at least at the very minimum, have an affiliate product on there, which we have done. We have done both with affiliate products, which have done amazingly well. It's gotten us affiliate sales and gotten us leads to 4- and 5-figure clients just from $100 ad spend, which isn't very much in the ad spending space. Usually you do need to spend a lot of money in ad dollars to see a return, but you also need a good funnel in that whole thing too. So just a little when you're running promotions.
I wonder if Upbrand is similar to FameBit, like influencers promoting your product or service on Instagram. But interesting, Cheeks. Let us know if you try that out. Braden says, I was going to buy ingredients from an online store, but they wanted me to create an account, and then the process they had for creating a password was too confusing. There you go. So you bailed. Yeah, of course. So many hoops to jump through creating an account. The creating the password was confusing. That should not be the case. Perfect example.
Yeah, I hate that when you're wanting to purchase something and then they're like, create an account first. I like the ones where it does it automatically for you.
Yeah.
Where while making the purchase, when you enter your name, when you enter your email, it already creates, they're like, you've got an account. Even though I didn't sign up for an account, it just made a purchase and then it turned into an account as well.
Yeah. Tracy says, I had an ebook on the KDP site about 5 years ago that's fallen off the charts. Maybe I should post the link on my YouTube video descriptions and see if I can bring it back to life.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't know you.
What is the ebook about, Tracy? if it's about gardening, what are you doing not putting the link in your YouTube descriptions?
That's so
If you
crazy.
if you still think it's relevant, um, the information in that ebook is relevant and it would be relevant for your audience, yeah, absolutely. And you can, just do um, a soft call to action at the end of some videos. It doesn't have to be all videos, but just some videos that you think are most relevant would be a good purchase for the ebook. Just saying, hey, if you're interested, I do have an ebook on so and so topic. I'll put the link in the description below so you can check it out. That's it. And yeah, you may see sales from that.
Another person who does this well is Brenda. Brenda Smith James
Mhm.
is all about writing your own memoir, right?
Yeah.
She has her own book, which is a memoir, and it is on, I believe, Amazon.ca and Amazon.com. And so whenever she's doing a YouTube video, not every video, but she'll reference her memoir. And then she'll have it in her description. And then she also has to promote it in her banner as well. And I bought her memoir because I would just constantly see it, just the image on her banner,
Mm-hmm.
and let me tell you, it was the first memoir I've ever read. Like, I don't usually buy memoirs. I'm usually buying like business books and entrepreneurship books. I bought her memoir. It was about a sad time in her life. Amazing book. And I cried because it was so good. And Brenda had already had this book, which gives her credibility as a writer. She's a writer, so it makes sense. And she's also recently created a course as well. And she's just crushing it. Like, she's already making sales from it. It's she's got 2 products now, which is really cool for her. I'm so excited for her.
Yeah, Brenda's a great example of someone who just, they started off with releasing content on YouTube, providing value to the market, and then she's like, I want to monetize my brand now, and put out that book, and that's another thing too. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be your process or framework or what we talked about before. It could just be your story, because some people just want to know your story and how you got to do whatever it is that you're doing right now. And that's the case with Brenda as well. And she's also now putting her process and her framework and everything for writing a memoir in an online course, which is really cool.
Another easy product, because I know people get hung up over, I don't have a product or service. Another super easy one is either doing a 30-minute or a 1 hour call, ask me anything, and you charge
Mhm.
$100, 50, whatever you're going to feel comfortable with. Personally, I would go in the 195 250 range USD. And people will pay. People will pay to just want to ask you questions. There are people that pay 250, 295 for an hour USD to ask Auret questions about Learn Worlds. They're not, they might not necessarily get a whole service and whatever, but they'll just ask her questions for an hour. And it's like, it's so easy for Auret because she knows so much about Learn Worlds. I used to do this for Camtasia. I don't really do it very much anymore. But that's another easy product and service is you set up a calendar. You need a calendar website like a Calendly or what's that other one?
Well, ours is One's Hub. Is that what you mean? Calendly, One's Hub. Mm-hmm.
Calendly is the most popular one. You set up a Calendly, and I think it attaches to a payment. You can do it too. And then you do either 30-minute or 1 hour. And you don't even need to be on the laptop. Like, I'm on my cell phone right now. You can do a Zoom call just like this. And, they can, if you're feeling nervous, like, oh, well, I don't know what the questions are going to be and I don't want to get thrown off. I used to be like that too. You can kindly ask them, oh, please submit your questions 24 hours prior to the meeting so that I can review them and make sure that I can give you the full value, when really it's, I don't want to get thrown off guard with a question that I don't have the answer to, because I want to be able to provide full value. So that's also another thing. And at the minimum, you charge 100. for that, like at the very, very minimum.
Yeah, I mean, you have all this knowledge in a particular area, and they're getting direct access to that, asking any questions that they want. Timothy just joined the live stream. Hey, Timothy. And also Phil. We were just talking about you, Phil.
Yeah, we just did a whole thing on you
earlier in the live stream. You'll have to watch the playback. So Tracy says it wasn't related to gardening, her ebook. It was about making natural cleaning products using essential oils. I could probably create a video around the topic and promote it that way. Yeah, I mean, it's not directly related to gardening, but people who garden may also be interested in natural cleaning products, in essential oils, that type of thing. So yeah, see how that goes. Create a video and see how it does. I would encourage you to do that.
I would totally do it. You've got nothing to lose. The product is already created. It's already on KDP. It's already on there. The infrastructure is there. You just need to promote it, right? You just need, and then I find this a lot. Like, we get students and clients and they're like, oh, I have an ebook or I have this. And I'm like, oh, where is it? And they're like, oh, I don't have it posted anywhere. And I'm like, why not? Why not? You, at the very least, use it as a lead magnet to get emails.
Yeah. Sometimes it's something that people created in the past and then they only realize later, like, oh, I have a bit of a following now that I can share it with. So that's really cool, Tracy. Definitely, yes, do it.
Because video, you have more now. Tracy, you have more of a following. And then I honestly would be more bold and I would be like, hey, everyone, I have an ebook about essential oils and how to do this. This is what the book shows you. I would create a dedicated video and I would just be bold and I would say it's on Amazon, KDP or whatever, however you call it, for whatever it is. You guys, you got to get it if you want to learn how to do this. And if you have reviews, have them pop up on the screen. And I would just be totally blunt and I would just say, buy my ebook, because I think you have the fan base. At some point, you can just flip over and be like, hey, I have this, you guys. And I think ebooks aren't really that high priced anyways, and it's such an easy purchase for people that I think you should go for it and be bold.
Yeah, and that's one of those cases where if they've already received so much value from your videos, they just want to support you in some way. It's buying your ebook is an easy purchase for them. Mm-hmm. So how let's we've kind of talked about specific examples here and there of choosing which monetization method to choose, right? But let's kind of look at it overall, like for if we haven't touched upon, we touched upon gardening and we touched upon woodworking and all these different topics with you guys in here. But if you're watching this live stream and you're like, okay, well, there's all these options, digital downloads, online courses, affiliate marketing, so many ways to monetize. How do I know what's best for me? Where do I start? And when a client comes to me and asks that question, I always first start with, what is your goal? What do you want? What do you want? Where do you see, you going with this business? Do you want to work one-on-one with clients? Do you, do you need immediate revenue? Are you looking for a way to earn immediate revenue? Or are you looking to set up a longer-term passive income stream or a combination of both? What do you enjoy doing? What could you do over and over again? All of these things factor into your goals and factor into what type of method we would then look at and see, okay, it makes more sense for you to, since you already have the skills of being on video and you enjoy creating video and you already have, this framework that you have and you want to help more people and get more visibility. These are your goals, etc. But you don't want to work one-on-one with people, then it might make more sense for you to create an online course, for example. So it always it starts there. And then there's also some other things that you could start to look at. Like once you have an idea of different options, maybe you're deciding between an online course and a PDF or selling someone else's product and earning affiliate commissions on that. Then you could kind of take a look at what people in your space are already doing. What are they offering? Do a little bit of market research in terms of what products and services are already out there. Because what you want to then go and do is be the red fish in that. Remember that diagram? Some of you might have seen that. We posted it on Instagram, and I think Jewel talked about it as well in one of the reels. There's like a sea of blue fish going one way and then one red fish going the opposite direction. So if you notice that in your market, there's a ton of online courses, but nobody's really created like a checklist or a template or some other sort of PDF that explains, their framework, then you should do that. You should go in that direction and do something different from what's already in the market. And that way you can kind of evaluate and see you can kind of gauge between different monetization methods and what you would want to do.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, you remember I talked about Jeeps, right? And making the Jeeps, and I bought the plant on Etsy and I made them my own. Like it was completely different than what they sold because I was making it Jurassic Park theme and this whole thing, right? And I spent an insane amount of time making these things. And at the end, do you remember? I was like, should I monetize this? I feel like if I created a course and put it up on Skillshare or put it on Udemy showing because I knew how to make it. I spent like, I don't know, 100 hours making these freaking Jeeps and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Like art is like really something that I'm into. And I was already thinking I could create a course, put it on Skillshare and put that same course on Udemy and show specifically how I turned this flat piece of paper into this Jurassic Park Jeep, all the gems I used, the straws for the cage of the Jeep and things like that. And I could even sell the plants on Etsy. And I had to stop myself because it was going a little bit too far left for like with it has nothing to do with business and things like that, but that's where my mind goes. I'm like, oh, if I we all have limited time, but I'm pretty sure if I created all that stuff that it would just sell. And I still think this day, and it's just like literally anything can be made into an easy product, service, PDF, video, whatever. It's crazy. A course.
I think you went like you what got you there was the fact that no one else had it. No one else had a video course to create that.
Because I was looking, I wanted to see. First of all, I initially just wanted to buy these paper Jeeps and already have. Nobody had the exact one from the Jurassic Park movie, the way that it was painted, the tan and the red and everything like that. Nobody had it that way, and I'm getting excited now because I'm like, oh my god, I could I could turn that into a product or service, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, there's so many things. So really consider like your goals. I guess you ended up not doing that because your goals didn't really fit or align with, Essetino and what we're doing here. And but yeah, so ask yourself those questions. What am I looking for right now in terms of revenue, immediate revenue, passive, a combination of both? What do I want? Do I want to work one-on-one with people? Then maybe you might go more of a service route, or do you want more of a digital product that sells on its own? What type of content do you like to create? Do you enjoy creating? Also consider your audience too. So think about how they like to digest content. If you know that information, if you don't, that's fine. You're just going to have to either get that idea from the market research that you do, see what other people are doing, or just go to forums and stuff. Sometimes you'll have people outright say what kind of methods they like, or you could run a poll, or you can just see what happens when you release that product and get information that way. But definitely consider your audience. If like, for example, in the fitness and wellness space, right? People, they kind of prefer both. They want to see that written plan, roadmap laid out for them, whether it's for nutrition or fitness, but they also need the demos, the demonstrations of how to do the exercises and that kind of thing. So they want that visual aspect. So different ways to kind of think about how to choose the right monetization method for you.
Yeah, the personal trainer example. So I had purchased a personal training course from this well-known YouTuber on Jeremy Ethier. It's called Built with Science, and I had purchased his course, the first version of it, a couple years ago, and it was awesome. It was great. And then he released 2.0 as an upgrade that you had to pay for. I purchased it. I purchased the upgrade because I wanted the new revamped, updated. And then he came out with a cookbook where he took a bunch of junk food, like all the junk foods you like, like lasagna, pizzas, even a Big Mac, all the stuff, cheesecake. And he actually hired a scientist to rework these recipes to make them healthy so that they're high in protein, lower in calories. Basically what people in the fitness industry want. They usually want stuff with protein. And so I bought a cookbook, and it wasn't that cheap of a cookbook, but it was amazing. They had this lasagna in there, and it's just like, he really stepped out of the box, because I'm sure it was a lot of hard work to create a cookbook, but most fitness people will not rework. They'll have recipes. Fitness trainers will have recipes, but the way that he did it, where he reworked a Big Mac, to make a healthy Big Mac, specific, was really attention grabbing, because I've seen personal trainers offer their meal plans and whatever, and I'm not usually that interested in it, but this one I was. So that's another version, because there's like, how many personal trainers are there on YouTube? Like 1 million, but he's still a way to stand out.
Yeah. And, guys, monetizing your personal brand is not like, you release the product and then expect to receive the money. It requires persistence. It requires consistent effort as well. Just like with anything that we often talk about on this channel, on the marketing side, content marketing, releasing your product is the same thing. You got to figure out what works. You got to talk to people sometimes and, see, like those first few students that came into, I think it was the SEO Simplified course, like one of our first courses, I actually messaged them and like asked them one-on-one, like, tell me, your honest feedback about the course. What do you like about it? What don't you like? What would you want to see in it? All this kind of stuff. And, I incorporated that feedback. So you can, and that's what people do sometimes. They do like a beta launch. They just kind of test with a few people first, and then they make it better to actually do the actual launch of something like a course. For PDF, not so much. But I'm going to ask a question here to you guys.
There's someone asking the cookbook, so I'm just going to pull that out right now.
Yeah, go for it. So put in the comments, guys, if you could create a product or a service based on your personal brand right now, what would that be? What would that look like? What type of method are you kind of like curious about, not necessarily, or leaning towards entirely? Put that in the comments for us. I'll just head over to the comments as well to see if we missed anything. You guys are saying hello to each other. Awesome.
And then the question.
Yeah, Charlene. Hey, Charlene.
How's it going? Where are you watching from? So the cookbook.
You have the name there, Jewel?
Yeah. So I can show it?
Go for it.
Okay, so this is with Jeremy Ethier. He's on YouTube. You can check him out. He has millions of subscribers. His cookbook is what is it? I think it's just the Built with Science cookbook. But basically, go to builtwithscience.com, and then probably somewhere up on the top tabs, he'll have something like, let's see here, programs or something like that in there. But yeah, this cookbook was awesome. It is a pricier cookbook, but to me, it was worth it. So it was like $79, right? But to me, getting a healthy version of a lasagna that has really high protein, as someone who's working out who needs to prioritize protein, total game changer. Annoying for me was trying to think of stuff to eat all the time. And he has so many meals in here, all different kinds. So like breakfast, lunch, dinner, even desserts, and they were all tasty. Everything I made from this book was tasty. So yeah, that's the book right
It's
there.
really good. It's I've
On,
used some recipes on there.
you can't get it on Amazon. It's like directly from his site, and it's a PDF, so you get it instantly. But yeah.
Yeah. So put some answers in the comments for us, guys. For those of you who are watching live here, what product or service are you thinking of creating? Or if you're not, maybe, you could post that as well. Maybe you're leaning more towards like an affiliate marketing thing. What is your monetization method of choice? And as you guys are answering that, we can kind of jump into just really quickly what you do need to monetize. So this is ignoring all the stuff that happens before people actually buy from you, right? So ignore the content marketing side of things, but what do you actually need set up to exchange the offer and the money, right? So because it may kind of seem intuitive for some people, but I just want to break it down because to show you how simple it is. Number one, you need a page that describes what you offer. Number two, you need a way to process payments. And number three, you need a way to deliver that product or service. And this works for any of the monetization methods that we've talked about here on this live stream. So a way to process, or a page that talks about what you offer, a way to process payments, and a way to deliver that product or service. And it doesn't need to be on your own website necessarily. You don't have to build out a full-fledged site and think of, okay, what payment integrations do I need? How do I make a great landing page look good and all this kind of stuff? Because there's so many tools out there. If you don't have a website and you just want a quick way to get started with monetizing, there's so many tools out there that you can use that already have all of that ready to go for you to use and just plug and play. Like, for example, the Buy Me a Coffee site that we've talked about before on this page. Buy Me a Coffee is a tool where you can accept donations as content creators, but it also allows you to set something up where you can sell a digital product. And that's what Jewel was talking about earlier with her selling the Facebook Marketplace PDF guide that she did. So with a site like that, it's all there. It's easy. You have a page where you can list out what you offer, describe what you offer. There's a payment processor, an integration where you could, integrate it with, is it Stripe, Jewel, or PayPal?
It's Stripe, like and they got rid of PayPal, but it's Stripe, okay, which it's pretty, like, it's as popular as PayPal these days.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's a way to have that delivered. After they purchase, they receive the PDF guide. When you think about like Fiverr or any of these other sites as well, it's getting really bright here. Turn on the lights. When you think about like Fiverr selling digital products or services or anything like that, these are all easy ways to have like a page in one place where you can monetize, process payments, and then deliver. When it gets to online courses and stuff, that gets a little bit more complex in terms of like which learning management system to use, which site to use. But again, the tools out there like Kajabi, all these kinds of things, they make it pretty easy to set up on your own, even if you're brand new, even if you're a beginner. You just need time to do that, right? It's the time to set it up.
I would say as a minimum, have a PayPal and have a Stripe. Like have both. Because I find a lot of people still don't have a PayPal or don't even have a Stripe. And I would say have one of those because, yeah, with the Buy Me a Coffee, you need to have that to connect it. That's what Stripe and PayPal, that's what connects, that's what receives the payment, and that's what connects to your actual bank account. Those are websites that allow you to get money. And so
Yeah.
I would just sign, even if you have nothing right now, I would just sign up for a Stripe, and they're both free. Sign up
Yeah.
for a Stripe for a PayPal.
I've honestly seen more, like if you are using other sites like, Buy Me a Coffee or Kajabi or any of these other platforms where you're thinking about selling your product or service on those platforms, I've seen more seamless integration with Stripe versus PayPal if you're comparing the two. But like you said, both is good to have because some people want to pay with their PayPal account. And so if you're offering that, then they can just use that as a payment method.
Here's something interesting. Adobe, right? They pay out PayPal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
PayPal? Interesting.
You have to be connected to their affiliate software.
Yeah.
But yeah, pay out in PayPal, and they're huge.
Yeah.
And there's Learn Worlds that does Stripe. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying both, because everybody just is either PayPal or they're either Stripe. They're one or the other.
Yeah. And I actually, that reminds me, like I recently set up or you actually helped me do this, Jewel, for Cal, setting up a page where people could purchase coaching from him. And that was just done in Stripe in itself. So he has a Stripe account, and then we helped him set up a page within the Stripe account, which you can do, and connect it to a product that is set up in Stripe so that he can receive payments. And then when that payment comes through, at that point, all I see is for him to reach out and send that person the booking link, for example. So that's, again, having a page that outlines what you offer, payment processor, and then a way to deliver that product. And that can be done as simple as just, for example, having it all there in Stripe or using some of these other sites that just make it more user-friendly to set up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go over to the comments here. So Timothy says, I would have to say the best way are classes, but I'm thinking that the shorter Skillshare Udemy route may be the best because of marketing. All right. So
I
go ahead.
have on that because, yeah, I do think that you should be on Udemy and on Skillshare both at the same time, both courses, the same courses, because they have traffic. They have traffic. They're like Amazon in that they already, you just need to put your stuff on there. And usually you make sales, usually. And one of the things that I've been doing behind the scenes is putting more courses up on Udemy. The reason why we can't do Skillshare is because Skillshare is more artist now. It's more art related. They don't want business stuff. But I used to have so many courses on Skillshare. And at one point, Skillshare was doing like 2,000 a month because it's based on minutes watched. But then they deleted everything, and all the entrepreneurs had to. And so it's mainly like design and art, and I'm not sure if they're accepting any other categories, but it's mainly that. It can't be like making money stuff, that's for sure. But yeah, I just finished editing a Udemy course that I'm going to be uploading, and I'm going to be creating another one later on this month because it's a great lead gen. It's a great way for a soft sale, and actually it gets pretty good some months, like pretty decent. I remember we hadn't touched our Udemy for years, but it was giving like $1,000 a month. I hadn't touched it for 5 years and still doing that. It's only recently that we've come back to Udemy because
Yeah.
there's still, it's such a strong course creation platform. They got people, they have so much traffic. Yeah, I'm gonna be releasing, well, Arit and I are gonna be putting another course up there, and then probably another one before December. Their biggest months are Q4 because they do heavy promotion because they don't make money if you don't make money. It's free to put a course on there. So they need you to make a sale if they're gonna make money.
Yeah, and this is kind of tying a little bit into promoting your product, but if you're someone who doesn't have an email list or a following or anything like that, you're brand new, you want to start off with, maybe you haven't done much content marketing, but you want to start doing content marketing and you also want to have a product for sale, then doing something like being on a site that already has a lot of existing traffic will cut a lot of that headache for you, because if you set something up on your own site, you have to be responsible for sending all the traffic there or doing paid advertising or whatever methods you're using to get people there. Whereas, with Skillshare or Udemy, they already have existing traffic. Like Jewel said, they are forking over all of the money to do paid ads so people can come and discover your course on there. And for that reason as well, on these sites, we typically release courses that are lower priced because it's an easy foot in the door for us to get students into our courses. And then from there, you can promote a higher ticket offer, whether that's a one-on-one service or a higher priced course that might live somewhere else on your site. And it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
courses. I mean, we did this with Fiverr, for example, right? Fiverr has all this existing traffic, and I designed these media kit templates, simple thing that I designed in PowerPoint, and I turned it into a PDF, and I delivered the PDF as well as the PowerPoint template to people. Again, like lower ticket item just to get that client in the door. And then they're like, if you provide great service, they're like, what else do you offer? What else can I buy from you? Right.
every day we make sales on Udemy. The thing is the courses are cheap. Like you're looking at $20 or less. You need to be okay with that. I know that there are a lot of people who aren't, and they're like, my course is $1,000. And it's like, okay, well, are you selling that $1,000 course? Like how many times are you, right? Have both, like put a smaller version on Udemy or something that still
Yeah.
gives value, right? Yeah, I find a lot of people have a hard time with the price points on Udemy, but if you're not making any sales, you got to get out there.
Something is better than nothing for sure. Tracy says, I would probably do a PDF or ebook on hydroponics for dummies to promote on my channel.
That'd be
Ooh, there
cool.
you go. That would be
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or do
Um,
like you're on video. I feel like you could do a hydroponics setup on Udemy, and
and it
it
doesn't
doesn't.
have to be like a crazy, so many video lessons. You could
Yeah,
go
it's
on Udemy and check out some of these courses. They're like 30 minutes, like, or less
like,
even. I think there's a minimum now, right?
yeah. If you want it to be paid, it needs to be over an hour, 90 minutes or something.
But for
But
free, it could be
it,
below.
yeah, but I would do paid and do an hour, whatever the requirement is. And
Yeah.
I doing a video course, Tracy, should be easier for you because you're on video already. But I could be wrong. Maybe PDF's easier. But I would do both. I would go create a video course, create a PDF. And I know it sounds like, what? I've never done it before. It's crazy and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, it's worth it when you can get this stuff created and set up, and it's passive sales are happening. Like I said, every day, and I'm not joking, we make sales on Udemy every day. And it's been
Mhm.
going on, started in like 2015.
Yeah. That's a great idea, Tracy. Again, encourage you to do that. There's been a lot of great ideas on here for you.
I'm pushing you because I know you do it.
Venmo,
Do it.
do it. Just do it, Nike. Venmo is wonderful too, since there are no fees. Yeah, I haven't used Venmo very much, but I know it's
Venmo,
another one.
the thing with Venmo is it's only pretty much in the United States. It's not international. And
Mhm.
the sites like Partnerize or they won't accept a Venmo. It has to be like a universal thing because they have people from all over the countries.
Yeah, so some limitations on that.
Mm-hmm.
Bill says, I'm using Buy Me a Coffee just for donations at the moment. Yeah. I mean, like, that's an easy way to just start receiving some funds, like for those people who just want to support you. But, Phil, maybe your next level up is creating something like a PDF or a template or some sort of offer that you already have Buy Me a Coffee. So you could use that platform to sell something that's like an info product or something practical where they can go and follow your steps. Again, watch the replay because we actually had some ideas for you earlier in this call. So
Yeah.
yes, watch the replay. All right, guys. So I think we'll wrap it up here. This has been a great discussion on monetizing your brand. Thank you so much for your participation in here. I hope you've received a lot of value or at least stirred some ideas on how to monetize your brand. Jewel, any last thoughts or comments you want to mention before we wrap up?
I would say just if you already have a channel and you have above 1,000 subscribers, I personally think you should create a product or service or at least promote some affiliate things. Um, so there's that. And I know that it can seem scary and daunting because it's new, but I assure you it's worth it. And at the very least, it gives you street cred when you can say you have a course, even if you haven't sold anything, or if you have I have an ebook or I have a PDF. Did you see our reaction, Tracy, when you said I have an ebook on KDP? Like, whoa, what? Really? What is it about? Right? It just, at the very least, it's going to do that. And at the very most, you're going to make sales out of it, potentially passively, if you work to set up that income stream. And I mean, we're always encouraging you guys to branch out and to not rely on one source and to have many sources and that are related, that are already in conjunction with what you're doing, right? Don't, like with me and the Jeeps, that was not in conjunction, but make sure that it aligns. And I think if you can pull it off, it'll be such a great growth for you, like personally and business wise and mentally. If you can figure it out and get a product or service up, like I'm pretty sure Brenda's probably feeling freaking amazing that she did it and she got it up there, right? It's an amazing feeling when you can complete it.
Yeah, and it's an amazing feeling when someone purchases it and, the feedback you get, the testimonials that you collect. It's a really cool experience to go through, aside from, of course, the money part of it and monetization side of things. There's a lot of skills as well that you may learn along the way. So it's a growth. It could be either personal growth or career growth for you as well to go through that process of creating and releasing a product or a service or an offer that you can call your own. That is your own. So yeah, guys, if any of you need help with this, by the way, I do these consults all the time. So if you just want to book an hour with me, let me know. Just shoot me an email. Email address is in the description. And the next live stream is, because it's usually 2 weeks. The next one should be on October 12th. However, we will be in, we're actually attending a business conference in Toronto, and also like a film premiere that's attached to this business conference. So, Jewel, what is your suggestion? Was it to do it on Wednesday, or what were you saying earlier? Yeah, Wednesday? Okay.
So
All
we'll
right.
do it.
So, go ahead.
Oh, just say what it's supposed to be, the date and time.
Yeah. So it's October 11th. That's Wednesday, October 11th at 6 p.m. PST, same time, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're just doing it a day earlier because, yeah, we'll be at the conference on the 12th. And we'll send out an email as well, so you guys will be notified. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, have a great evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at the next live stream. Bye for now.